What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Tonight, I'll look up from my phone and give you my attention. Tonight we're going to play around with some practice cubes. We're going to play around with some welder settings. See if we can get a better angle on this camera. And I had Jack requested that we do some pipe welds, so I'm going to go ahead and weld a couple of pipe coupons, and then I'm going to do a couple of the practice dice, but I've made a couple of plates here to be able to fit them into an end of a dice, so we're ultimately going to make a couple of pen holders, but as practice kits. Just let me get the stream up because I'm not even listening to it at the moment. I hope that the audio is okay. Bear with me 1 second. I have changed a couple of the audio settings. Yes, we have a fully working stream. And depending on how long that takes, I have some fittings to weld on to a couple of products. But we are going to focus on the settings. All right, so I put a post up on the, what's the group called? The TIG group on Facebook. Let me find it. TIG Welding Australia group up on Facebook, and just asked for some tips on settings. And one person has given me some settings which are very close to what we're using, but we're going to give those a try tonight. And the other suggestion is weld assist. So I'll keep that up, and if anyone comments on it while we're welding, I'll give them a go. And if anyone in the stream wants to suggest some settings, I will certainly give those a try. I know we did some pipe welding, some pipe coupons some time ago, and I don't know if I saved settings. I definitely remember thinking that I've got them on video, so I don't need to remember them, because I do intercooler pipes so infrequently. But I had a quick squeeze back through and I couldn't find them, which is just a reflection on my poor labeling of the stream. So I definitely need to get into the habit of going back into the stream after it's been live and retitling it, because often what I think we're going to do and what we actually do vary slightly. And okay, I think we're in ready to weld. So I guess follow up on last night's stream, I've rerouted the cable to the looking camera, this guy here, and just by changing that cable out, the video quality improved significantly. So I found that really interesting because I bought a really fancy data cable, and evidently just going back to just a cable from the drawer works a little bit better. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's working for now. And I think that's the only change. The only other thing I changed was I turned the receiver of the microphone down and then the volume of the microphone up to try and get rid of that distortion, which sounds like it is, which is something that I feel like I've been chasing for forever. I'm just going to center this little face cam. Chris, g'day Chris. Thank you for the shares and all that jazz, and welcome to the stream. What do I push? Okay, yeah, we got heaps of room to move this camera around. Cool. I think I'm sitting in the right spot anyway. There I am. Something like that. And the chat doodad is not working. Okay, that I hope that that brings the chat back. Hey, Chris, any word on the job interview? You don't have to share it publicly always. Let me try that. I don't know if that does actually. No, it's probably still early days. No, chat box doesn't want to work. Just let me dive back in there again. I'll come back here and we'll just go this way and see if we can test the chat box, alert box. So that stuff is working. We know that already. I don't know. We might not have a chat box tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I've done all I can. If it comes good, cool. If not, cool. I can see the chat. So I can see the chat on YouTube. No, I can't. Okay, so something's not working. Something's not working with the chat. Okay, cool. So yeah, okay. So I've got the chat up on YouTube. I can see the chat there. Just come in the chat box, and I don't think I can monitor the. I have no idea. I don't know. But I can see the chat. That's all that matters. Cool. All right. Let's end. So be a day or two. I'll still fingers crossed for you. Hopefully things are. Awesome. I assume that they are Fronius boxes. I'm just going to rub these guys down with a little bit of Scotch-Brite just to clean them up. I have just rough cut them and deburred them. Didn't put too much effort into brushing or anything like that. Awesome, man. Are you assembling it as we speak? So basically, I just cut them to a rough length to hopefully goal was to make them longer than this so it sticks out once we weld these guys up. Not particularly calculated or anything like that, just cut the pipe in half so I could weld it back together, so we could go through some settings and figure that out. Maybe tomorrow I would not sleep. I'd want to test it out. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So I got 3 the same size and 1 a little bit longer. All right, so let's just tack everything together to start with. We'll dive into the settings. So on the Facebook group, the settings that were recommended were not dissimilar to the settings that I use currently. Just pull that camera over here. So where are we? We're on a pulse setting. We don't want to be there. So we're going to go to a straight current setting. Auto, pre-flow, post-flow, no pulse. We're going to change to Optima. We're going to change to 90 Hertz. And we're going to change to -38 on the AC balance. That all looks good. And we're all good on everything else, I think. Cool, so we're going to give this a go and see how that goes for some 2mm outside corner joints. We might actually, for these pipe welds, let me change back. We might, for these pipe welds, start off with the weld assist setting and work our way out from there, just for experiment's sake. But for right now, we're going to get some tacks in here. Just test that gas first. Just turn that up a little bit. So we're about 7 litres a minute. And I just got zapped by my table again. So I'm just going to take a minute and just clamp that earth lead down. I can't bring you with me, unfortunately. It's not a good location. We'll come over here. I'm really thinking about just bolting the earth lead to the table. I do just have a little clamp on it at the moment, but let's make sure everything is tight, everything is good. Okay, now we might be ready. 17 minutes into the video, and now we're ready to weld. Okay, so a couple of tacks on there. It's got a USB cable touching me. So it's the opposing sides need to equal 7. That's correct, isn't it? So it's going to be this guy in the middle. Opposing sides need to equal 7. I've got a diagram. So starting from 1, which this guy is going to be 1, 3, 4, 3 and 6. Alright, so I think I've got that right. We've got 4 plus 3, 7, 5 plus 2, 7, 6 plus 1, 7. So I'm going to leave the 1 off. Actually, I probably don't. Yeah, I do need to, because we're going to feed the weld through and then just put this guy on afterwards. I've got it at a really tight fit. I just broke the tack on that. Got it to a really tight fit because I wanted it to act like a little bit of a heat soak. So hopefully it doesn't distort too much, because it is super thin around the sides. Hopefully it doesn't distort too much when we weld that, but we will we have technology to deal with it. Adds up well. Thank you for that trick. I never knew that. I did print out a diagram now. So when I sell these practice cubes, I ship it with the diagram stuck to the box. But yeah, that's awesome. I'll just tack up the second one, so we're all good to go. So 6. So one has been I've burnished already, and the other one is just from the laser cutter. It just has a little bit of shit on it from the laser cutter. Actually, I might do that side out, and then we can hit it with the burnisher after. Okay, is that so? Yeah, so the chat's not going to come good on the screen, unfortunately. I will just jump in here. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so we need 2 over here. It's kind of why I tack everything up before the streams. This is quite boring, I think. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. Just going to redo a couple of these tacks and then get some stronger tacks on before we start welding this. One and two. I should just zoom this guy in a little bit. I am noticing that the monitor is flickering on and off every time I weld. Not sure. I think it's the HDMI cable, not the power. But I'm not sure if it has enough ferrites on it. It is actually a 10 meter cable I've got here. I had to use my shorter cable for something else, so. But it's not affecting anything at this point. All right, all tacked up, ready to start welding. Since these are just little short welds, I'm just going to get a round heatsink to put inside here. This is just a 3-inch, block. Only because they're short lengths, and normally we would have like a full-length intercooler pipe that would soak some of the heat away a little bit. So we're going to start with, having a really hard time getting comfortable. We're going to start with weld assist is the word that I'm looking for. Let's cruise over to settings. And I'm going to save these settings because I think they will be pretty good. And let's jump into weld assist, aluminium, 2mm. So this pipe that I'm using here, usually intercooler pipe is about 1.6mm. This stuff here is 2mm. It's like 1.9 something, so we'll just go with 2mm. We're doing a butt joint. We're going to be straight down more or less, so we'll use the A setting. So the machine wants us to use 7 litres, 2.4mm tungsten, which is what we're using, 2mm filler, so we're going to use a 1.6mm because that's what I've got, and 155mm a minute on our travel speed, 83 amp. It's going to be on a foot pedal, so we'll see how it goes. The thing with this is that it turns the minimum way up. So normally I'd be about 15 amps on my minimum. This is saying 50 amps. But we're just going to roll with it straight out of the box and not mess with anything. So auto, pre-flow and post-flow, that's all fine. No pulse at this point, so we're on Optima setting, 60 Hertz, which is the default when you use weld assist, and -28 on the AC balance, which is the default when you use weld assist. And then the only thing that it really changes is that amperage. So 83 max amps, 58 min amps. Might be a little bit crazy, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll move on from there. So I'm going to weld, just going to weld runs, so just an inch or so, just whatever's comfortable for across the top there. But yeah, those minimum amps are going to be the issue on this one. hard time with this plug right now. It just continuously wants to touch the back of my neck. I'll try that. Hopefully it doesn't unplug itself. So that was really good, but the downside of that is we don't get much travel in the pedals. We don't get much room to move around. Really good penetration on those settings there. So the amperage is good. Just looks a bit gross and feels a bit dirty to weld at 60 hertz, but just our starting point. So I think it might be beneficial to flip between the two. And what I might do is grab a little scribe and just write on the thing what we did, or what weld it is. Actually, the minute marker might be the way to go. So this is 1 at 34. Okay, so let's all right, so we'll work off of this profile. So this is 0, should be a 0, yeah, so there's 0 profile, and we'll try and build it out from there to get it to work. So what I want to do first is just increase the AC balance. So we'll do a weld simply by changing the balance. Obviously we're going to get some differences going from a hot part to a cold part and vice versa, but at the end of the day we're just trying to build out a set of settings to weld pipe. So just that alone has produced a, I think, better weld. Very similar, but in profile at least. But the etching zone's a bit crisper, and it's a lot closer to the actual weld itself. See on this one, there's a gap there. This one, it's hard up against, or close to hard up against the weld. All right, so the real issue is the amperage on the lower end. So 39% on the AC balance on this machine is the equivalent to 30 on a Miller or a Everlast. So all I want to do here is jump in here and turn that down. I'm just not getting that control for the crater at the end to be able to teeter off. So for now we'll leave it at 83 amps, but we'll just drop that down to 15 so I can get a bit of range in the foot pedal. So that's going to be our only change this time around. We'll jump back over to the other part just to try and stay on top of the heat. hopefully you could see that I had a lot more control over that. Could definitely move around as needed, and I could terminate that weld a lot nicer. You can see this one here has a really deep crater just down the bottom corner of the screen there versus this one here. Quite shallow. Definitely could have hung out a little bit longer, but we are going to restart a couple of back. The weld has kept consistency. I did hang out for ages to get heat back into the part there, but we are running quite low amperage. And penetration is quite good. We are probably a little bit cold where we had that stop start. You can see the line in it, but I'd be perfectly confident to use a weld like that as an intercooler pipe. So we'll cruise back to the other one there, and let's go over to the machine now and really want to jump in here and up the frequency. So we'll get up to that 90 Hertz that we've got in that other profile. Going to keep it on the optimal wave, so we're just going to change one thing at a time, which is really difficult for me. I like to change everything all at once usually. Okay, again, perfectly acceptable weld there. A little bit hard when we stop starting. Again, had to get the heat back into the part there, and almost had too much penetration. I feel like the travel speed was really slow, only because of how long I had to hang out, is what it felt like. You see the penetration is really excessive in there. Part's quite hot now. But that's sort of a great reflection of real life. But it was really having to hang out for so long. Part is low on the bench and the welding cam is looking above the weld. Is there another question that I can't see? The start stops are a good practice for me, at least. I'm just going to grab the Facebook feed in case I'm missing something over there. Hopefully. If I can click the right buttons. I'm just like, I can't hear the stream anymore, but it's because I clicked away from it. All good. Cool, cool. Can I hear that? Will that play audio? Yes. Cool. Yeah, I can't get the, oh, I can bring it down. I'm just like, I can't because the cable's too short, but I changed that cable. But no matter what, you guys are on the wrong side of the part for where we're starting over here. But I'll get you, but the welding cam is what you're talking about, yeah. And actually, yeah, my tether is shorter tonight. I'm trying to get it to stop touching my head. Anyway, Let's jump back. Helmet cam. Yeah, sorry. I got it in the end. I got it in the end. So, from here, I mean, really, I want to jump over to square wave, but I'm just going to put a few more amps in so we don't have to sit for so long when we restart these worlds. And I think we might even jump that down to 80 hertz. And we'll dive back in to the world here. And if we get the result, if we get the same results, we'll jump over to a pulse setting for the other half. I get. Are you saying you can't see the world, Chris, while I'm welding? I just noticed that because I've got the cable short tonight, it pulls the helmet up as I look down. And I was looking down with my eyeballs instead of tilting my head down like I'm supposed to. That should be fine. I'll just have to deal with this cable touching my neck. Yeah, sorry, I totally didn't catch what you were trying to say. So I want to see the penetration. Yeah, so penetration really good again. So we've jumped back down to 80 hertz from 90 and improved the penetration over the 90. You can see in this one. So that is all really good. I'd be happy to just continue welding out the pipe like that. So I think this is where it gets to personal preference. So whether you go close dabs or further apart. But this stop start, I guess, doing it like this probably doesn't, it probably isn't the best way to get a consistent weld around the part, but in the spirit of education, this is how we're doing it. Let's jump into the machine settings. I'm going to keep all these settings the same, and the only thing we're going to change right now is turning on pulse, and we'll just keep all the settings. Obviously, I forgot to turn off autofocus. Come on, there we go. So 40% on time. We've got a 1 second pulse there, so we'll give this a go and see what results we get. So pulse is generally my preferred method for intercooler pipes. This doesn't feel quite right just yet, but we're definitely narrowing it down. So good penetration there. I really happy. So you can see side by side, 90 hertz here. I've already forgotten to mark all these welds. We did it for one, which is probably better than I normally do. So 90 hertz there, 80 hertz there at the bottom. The weld itself, this one here is the pulse weld we just did. So we could definitely tune that up and get a better result. Like excessively tall welds, they look really good around the pipe. So I think we are traveling in the right direction. So what I'd like to see here is maybe a higher on time. So I'll just try and commit to changing one thing at a time. I also want to increase the pulse cycle, but we'll just start with the on time and see if we can get a little bit of a wider weld. So getting a fair bit more heat in the part, so 50% is probably a bit too high on that, or at least 1 second pulse is a bit too high. We increased our penetration quite significantly, so there to at the bottom there. So a little bit in the wrong direction there. Possibly, for curiosity's sake, what if we went to 33%? Keep that 1 second pulse, but just try speeding it up that way, increasing the on time rather. Thank you, Benjamin. Welcome to the stream. I don't know if you can hear me. Welcome to the stream. 25 and 30 is your peak amp for stainless. Yeah, definitely. I'm still yet to play around with any stainless on this machine. It's on the list. So probably the dab's a bit close together, but the penetration was good on that. Where can I show you there? A little bit excessive. It just sort of, at 30%, it just blasts it all in really quickly. Let's jump onto this other piece. And going the other way, up to 60%, we'll just, again, let me jump into here. So we'll just turn that up to 60% on time, keep that 1 second pulse timer, and we'll just compare the penetration results on this setting. Feels a lot more controllable. Doesn't look too bad there. It's hard to get the lighting on this world. Doesn't look too bad. Let's see what the penetration looks like. Penetration looks excellent on that. I'd actually even be curious if a slower pulse time would be more beneficial with these settings. Just to, for me at least, to widen up those dabs. So let's jump in and leave it at 60% on time, but let's go down to 0.9 hertz, which is a 1.1 second pulse. Typing is bad. Eating pizza at the same time. Half your luck, man. Half your luck. It definitely feels like a good night for pizza. Yeah, not much of a fan of that setting. Nothing too drastic changed there. We're only 0.1 of a second longer in the pulse time. I really think I'm going backwards with those settings, so we'll come back to this one. And we'll go to our faithful 0.833 pulse time, and see how that goes. Oh, for sure, man. It's however small the excuse is to get pizza, you just take it, don't you? Every time. Did I push the right button? Yes. So faster pulse time feels better. It effectively changes nothing. Penetration is about the same. The bead profile is about the same. The height of the bead is about the same. Everything's about the same, except it increases the stress because the pulse time is quicker. So I think with a bit of tuning, we could tune in the pulse setting. But I think for now, we'll come back in here and just turn that pulse off for these last few welds. We'll go back to our settings here and just change to square wave. So keep everything else the same. Pulse is off. Yeah, that definitely felt a lot better. Can I show you how it looks? I was just daydreaming a little bit. I lost sight of the line as I was going around there, thinking about what I'm doing next instead of what I'm doing right now. Penetration is good. Really happy with that. So yeah, I think straight current is the way to go. So we've got a few more passes that we can do. So a couple more things we can look at. Would only be fair to try sine wave, even though I'm pretty sure we all know what the answer is going to be with sine wave. Doesn't look too bad, but it just feels terrible. Penetration wise, it is identical to what we did before, actually. Yeah, it's identical to what we did before. So next thing, these parts are getting quite warm, but I think it's a good test for real life. So we'll go back to Optima, pretty happy with how that was traveling. And let's just go to something pretty common, maybe 115 Hertz. There, everything else remaining the same. That was good. I think a lot more control at 115 Hertz. It definitely looks a lot nicer. The proof will be in the penetration there. So we're definitely, how can I show you that? We're definitely getting some runaway in the heat there. You can see the penetration getting wider as we travel through, which is not unusual for higher hertz. So we're in the ballpark. I think a compromise in between there might be good. It might be a square wave optima wave change. So let's try that right now. How am I finding the new gloves? I'm still on that mixed matched glove situation. This one here, my feeding hand, is one of these mechanics gloves, and it just feels like it catches on fire all the time. I'm still hunting for, so basically what I'm looking for now, until the Diablo gloves become available again, is these style of gloves. Let's get a bigger screen here. These guys, which are a cut-proof glove, but instead of like the neoprene, I'm looking for like a silicon or a latex pad on the front. I haven't spent too much time looking, but that's what I would definitely like to try next. There are some in the gardening section at Bunnings I saw while I was in there on the weekend, but there was no dexterity at all with them. So I will jump back on that glove hunt again. I definitely need to soon, because this is a really poor compromise, I think. So let's keep 115 Hertz and just cruise over to square wave and see how we go with that. That was maybe the best one so far, but I think I'm just partial to square wave. So it's this little section here. Let me mark that. Whatever the time is, it's 66. And penetration, perfect. It's right at the bottom there. Let me just double check. Yeah, right at the bottom there. So no problems at all with, really with any of these settings. I think the straight current was definitely better tonight than the pulse. But I think a bit of time tuning up the pulse, we would have figured out some better settings. This one has some really bad pulse settings on it. But this last weld here was we got away from the pulse and back into straight current, and you can see a drastic improvement in the weld there. So finally on this one, we want to weld this in this direction. Get onto the machine. We'll go back to our Optima and we'll just go down to 105 for our last weld and see how that goes. So it's just this little section here when the camera turns on that we just did. The penetration is the same. I think my pick, just off the settings that we tried tonight, would definitely be square wave, probably in that 110, 115 hertz. We'll set it to 115 hertz. So negative 39 on the AC balance. We are 102 max amps, 15 minimum on the foot pedal. No pulse, automatic. So post flow is 4.4 in this case, but automatic on the pre-flow and post flow. And I'm going to take this setting and how do I save this? Save to. I'm going to save this to profile number 6. So I can forget what it's for later. But if I relabel this video correctly, I'll be able to come back and know that that's my pipe, intercolor pipe welding profile. Happy with that for sure. So Jack, I hope if you see this, I hope that was useful for you. I will send you a message after this video is up, so you can go back and ref to it. And I appreciate the question and the challenge, I guess, to come in and figure out some settings that work for intercooler pipe. So the next thing I want to do on these pipes is I just wanted to put a cap on them, and this is the cap that I cut out of that hole, so it's not a perfect fit, but I might just cheese that a little bit, since these are just going to be, I'm just going to use them as end of welding rod holders, and maybe a pen holder up on my packing bench. Actually wasn't even going to fully weld the cap on. This is just so, because the bottom of these are obviously going to have holes in them, so just wanted to put a cap on there so it all the rods didn't fall through every time I moved the thing. It's one of those instances where my hand is on fire. That was just from grabbing the part. These mechanic gloves have virtually no thermal protection. Cool, so that'll stop any rods falling through. That's all we need to do there. So I'm going to pop this guy in here, and then hopefully we'll be able to press this down like so. And we'll just get some tacks on there. And then this is what we're working with. So this is going to be our, it's going to replace this ultimately, our rod holder. So I'm going to, what are we going to do? We're just going to see if anyone on the Facebook group has suggested any settings. And let's just refresh this. I don't think anybody has. Nope, nope, and nope. So the suggested setting that we've got, we've loaded into the machine already. And I guess I should probably start with the top here, considering we've got these really thin areas through here. I think ultimately I will weld around this tube here because we're going to have, I think we're going to have some bad looking welds. But let's jump into the settings and just make sure everything is what we want. So auto on pre-flow and post-flow. No pulse. We are Optima, 90 Hertz, negative 38 on the AC balance. We're going to keep the 120 amps and the 15 min. And they're the suggested settings that we're going to try tonight to weld up this this practice cube. I'm going to be using fuel blocks as much as possible. And that's really it. In hindsight, I should have fully welded the bottom of that, because you can see where I've just tapped it. But I didn't, and I'm not going to get it back out again. I'll get a couple of filler rods ready. Need some water. All right, let's get into it. So as expected, edge control was difficult. I thought we were going to lose it through here. It was very hard to catch that again, but not too bad, all things considering. Sucks a little bit because this is ultimately going to be the top of the thing. I might actually, on the other side, try and do a bit of a fusion weld around there. So far I haven't balled the tungsten for this set of settings. I am quite enjoying 90 hertz. It feels quite casual, which I like. It's quiet as well. I might just drop this back to 35 on the AC balance. 33 was the setting I found worked really well, but I'm just going to fine tune these settings and see how they go. A little bit better there, not amazing, but not awful. Very hard to control the heat. I tried as best as I could to create a big heat sink through there. All in all, it doesn't look too bad. So it's this top edge on the fore side that I'm really trying to keep a nice straight line on, because ultimately I'm going to weld around there, and that'll break up the differences around there. I'll try and get a really wide bead on there actually. So that was a bit more successful than the other side. There you can see where I tried to chase the blowout there. Not getting particularly good gas coverage. I mean, it's not terrible, but it actually might be time to replace the gas lens, the cup. But I don't know if I want to spend the time doing that tonight. We are already an hour 25 in. And I was hoping to fully weld this thing tonight, but we probably will. I think I will. bad. So same deal there. A little bit tricky with the heat soak. It's just the way that this part is going to be. I'm sure at the end of the thing it will look fine. I will swap out to a new chill block. I don't quite know if there's anything worth changing on the machine. I think we're pretty good with everything here. I could try just bumping up the frequency a little bit, see if that changes anything at all. Ninety-five hertz feels a little bit more predictable, a little bit more controllable. I don't think we did too bad considering the amount of heat that's in this part right now. I think it's all pretty good traveling around there. You can see the improvements we made to counteract. So we started over here with some massive blowouts, and here with too much of a heatsink, and then I sort of happy medium with just 3 tacks around there. Worked pretty well. I'm just going to grab some compressed air and cool this part down some. And I'll stick you in a welding screen while we do that. Okay, so let's start on the 5 side. G'day Daniel, welcome to the stream. Another sleepless night. Oh, at least there's somewhere cool to go, I guess. Yeah, aluminium welding coming along okay. That felt really controllable, really nice. So we are on Optima setting, which is one that I often have difficulty with. That looked really nice cruising down there. So I'm just going to continue the whole way around on this side, and then we'll flip over and do the other side, and then it should just be the two little connectors. All right, that actually feels really good as a set of settings. Cruising around this part. So 95 hertz in Optima. So I have found in the past that lowering the frequency down for the Optima setting tends to work quite well. Yeah, feels really manageable, especially putting that much heat into this part. It does feel super manageable. Yeah, it's a fun little project. The stainless steel ones using the silica bronze is definitely a cooler look than these aluminium ones. But yeah, it'd be a nice little project, a little commemoration project for you, whatever you do, for sure. I really want to do one of these cubes and put some like a powder coated red cube inside of it. I've got an idea. I'm actually in the process of designing like a creeper from Minecraft as a welding coupon, as a welding practice kit. I don't think I'll be able to sell them though because of the copyright stuff, but it's just six cubes effectively that all get joined together. But I definitely think there's a market for practice kits that become a gift. Definitely open to ideas or kits to try. It's just unfortunate all the practice kits that I seem to find come out of the States, and the dollar is terrible, and freight is awful as well. I'm just going to pop you guys in a welding screen so you don't listen to the air gun. I think it's worth upgrading the dice kits that I do to include exactly what I've done tonight. What a great practice kit to practice welding pipe, welding a fitted end cap instead of just the off-cut that I used, a fitted end cap, and then putting it all together like this. This could even be a planter or something like that, but But yeah, I think that's awesome, and I definitely think that that is everything in here is really good practice anyway. But food for thought, it's definitely something that I think about often. It's just really hard to divert resources to doing this stuff, but I will. Stainless steel heat, yes, yeah, absolutely. They look really nice. Like just to be able to slot. I mean, even yeah, just two different materials like slid inside each other or build one over the other. A polished aluminium inside of a as a heat inside of a heat treated stainless steel or something. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I saw the ones on Justin Voss's channel. Yeah, yeah, and he did a little stand for them as well, which is pretty cool. Back the inside of the cube with copper or bronze. Yeah, yeah, that's the way. Even like feeding fairy lights or something into it would be cool too. Sky's the limit. I think it's just better. Like the dice situation is just a little bit more fun than just a flat out cube. Gonna attack these two corners. Do the same thing again. That feels fantastic to weld with. I think I really enjoy those settings. I definitely feel like I backed off of the amperage there compared to normal. I'm curious. Yeah, so welding around that 50 amp average Whereas normally I'm around that 68, I think. It just slow right down and just sort of travelled along. Yeah, something to do with that Optima wave. I've really been wanting to figure Optima out, but I feel like this is the best results I've ever got from Optima. A job listing for 888 Racing, yeah, awesome. I think that would be an interesting place to work for sure. From what I understand, they are quite a large operation. But yeah, man. I wonder what they do over there. I think that they do more than just their own stuff, but I'm not certain on that. But yeah, worth dropping an application in. You're gonna have a go at welding soda cans. Yeah, awesome. It's fun. It's definitely fun to try and figure out the settings for sure. Let us know how you go. It is fun, but it's one of those things that I think is a good thing for your business card situation. That and razor blades. Somebody used to do razor blades. I forget who. I think it's an Instagram thing, but they used to like clip razor blades to their business cards, welded razor blades to their business cards. Yeah, it's a very cool thing. Very cool thing. Sucks for you. 27 years doing flooring. Now you're broken. Yeah, it's labor's hard, man. Labor's hard. um, it sucks, man. Yeah, I have had labor jobs since I was 12 years old. From my bulk was vineyard work, installing irrigation systems, builder, doing all sorts of stuff, and yeah, I'm only 40. Fortunately, I'm hoping that I've still got another 40 in me. That would be great. I always said 105 would be the goal, but I think 80 is probably a bit more reasonable, given that I basically inhale aluminium for a living. But yeah, if you can work for yourself, like be your own boss, take control of your own shit. That's it's all admirable stuff. But yeah, doing flooring, saying like flooring and roofing, two things that I enjoyed but would not want to do for a long period of time. Tiling, laying slate floors was the bloody worst. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. Welding is a great career, definitely a great career. Let's do AMG and for GT stuff. Yeah, I think that I've heard that they do stuff for other teams or other people as well. But yeah, are you going to put an application in for it? It sounds. I mean, it would be a cool place to be. happy with that. I'm very interested to weld a catch can with these settings now. We just had a little bit, where am I looking now? Was it this one? I think it was this one we just welded. No, can't be. It's this one. No? This one. A little bit of heat where these two holes are close together there. You can see a bit there, but happy with that for sure. Yeah, definitely. It can't hurt. Like you can always say no, Chris, if you get the other one there. But it would be like if you got to the interview point, it would be nice to poke your head in and see what's going on there. Been doing flooring as a subcontractor, yeah, and your own boss since you were 17. Yeah, awesome. It's I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do. We all do. Yeah, that's a way to do. I mean, I have no idea what your climate's like there, but letterbox drops, Facebook Marketplace is a great advertising tool for welding here. I've actually been thinking about advertising on Facebook, even though I probably don't have the time to. I would love to pick up some more small batch manufacturing jobs for some other people, but you know, you can only do so much in a day. Just to get some variety, really, is what I was thinking. A variety for the stream here. So I just want to plug my positioner in. I haven't set it up with the table relocation yet. Here we go. I'm thinking like I have no idea where the power cable for it is. Obviously can't walk too far away from the microphone anymore, the receiver. Yeah, I wonder if a job like that would you'd get to travel with the team, or if it would all be at the workshop. Either way, super interesting, and obviously the conditions and the pay and the environment and all that stuff have to be right. But why? Oh, because we've probably turned it off. No, why don't we have... Did we lose everything? No. On. Okay, cool. So we'll just get the little key in. Get the table on. Get the pedal down. Let's keep the pedal on a magnet underneath the table here, so it's always accessible. That is spinning super fast. This thing is so I really need to give it a birthday. All right, what settings are we going to use for this this pipe? We're just going to use our normal weld settings for the fittings, probably. Want to get in here and save these settings. I'm going to save them over my regular settings, bugger it. Save those. Might just jump down. Basically, I just want to weld everything the same, but with a bit more amperage. So this guy here is at 150 amps, just gets us a little bit more control. Let's jump in there. Everything else, let's actually turn that. Put everything the same as the other one, we've just got more amps in here. And stick out is Now stick out is probably good. I might just increase it 1/2 mil. Just because we're doing an inside corner joint here. I'm really surprised that chat didn't start working on the screen there. I thought the chatbot that talks in YouTube and that are sort of linked. Not sure what went on there, but we've got to have something go wrong every night. At least tonight, I'm going to jinx it, but it hasn't been the back end of the stream, the cameras or anything. It's actually chugged along flawlessly tonight. So I'll grab a whole brand new bit of filler. I'm going to start here. You can see there, this is where I had that blowout just there when we were welding that side up. I'm going to start there, my start-stop there, so I can fill that while it's technically at its coldest. We'll chuck the big heatsink in there and we'll just plop the little one on top of it. I don't know how hot this is going to get. And let's go round and round. I might, I'll stress the stream a little bit, but I'm going to push record. Hopefully. Yes, we're recording. Everything is still working. I'm going to record this weld and hopefully be able to turn it into a short or a TikTok or something. Fingers crossed. But first, that is spinning way too fast. The problem with this thing is that because what the problem is the potentiometer is dying. But when I stop it and start it, if it spins too fast, it gets a big wiggle on. You guys can't see. It gets this like inertia wiggle. That should be fine. That's slow. Sometimes the current slows it down, so it's just a hodgepodge of parts put together, but it does the job. We're still recording. Yeah, so that's what I was worried about. The if the Lazy Susan bearing jams up, that's fine. Cool. All right, let's go. All right, we did it. That was a lot of filler. I really should have used a 2.4 mil filler on that one, but we got it. We did it. Looks the way it looks. Really happy, yeah, really happy with those settings. Definitely worth reaching out to the Facebook group and asking that. Whoever responded, I will send them a message tonight and let them know how we went. But looks good. So hopefully tonight's stream was purely for the stream. So to answer a viewer's question in finding some settings to weld some pipe and to play with settings for the sake of playing with the settings, which I definitely didn't want to do on a product. I'm so happy that I took the time to do this tonight, and we'll see how these settings go on an actual product. I dare say tomorrow night. I mean, it's definitely going to be tomorrow night, isn't it? But yeah, really happy with those settings. It looks really good. I guess it's probably not dissimilar to what we normally do, but it is. I don't know. The Optima setting is quieter. It's nicer, nicer as a user experience at least. But that's it. So yeah, I think so. I think so. Probably a good one to experiment with, at least a good jumping off point to experiment with. So I will. Should I save these? I'll save these settings as well to profile 2. We can always go back to the old settings if we need to. They're basically in every single stream. That looks good. Cool. Chris, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Daniel, thank you for popping in towards the end of the stream. I'm sorry that it doesn't line up with a better schedule for you, but hopefully in the future, the goal is to stream a couple of times a day. You know, I keep saying that, but I am working towards that goal. It is happening. It's just not instant, unfortunately. I'd like it to be, but I appreciate you both for being here tonight. That's so awesome. Anyone else who popped into the stream tonight, thank you so much for spending your evening with me. That's so awesome. Jack, if you make it to the end of this stream, I hope you get some value out of what we did tonight as well. Anyone else who is watching this stream, the VOD after it was live, you guys rock. I really appreciate everyone who clicks on that YouTube link, that YouTube video, and checks the video out. If you are watching this on YouTube after it was live, hitting like, leaving a comment, and if you're not subscribed, subscribing. Those 3 things. I know everybody spruiks it. It doesn't seem like much, but when the channel is the size mine is, that goes a long way to helping this stream get out to more people, and ultimately to be able to use YouTube's tools to be able to advertise it and more people. And that is the goal. You know, to be able to do things like we did tonight and answer people's questions, hopefully, or at least explore options for people. So. Leave a comment if you want me to do something on stream. I'd love to hear it. Generally, everything I do is aluminium. It's super fast and easy, but in the future, we'll be exploring stainless, chromoly, titanium, all that stuff. We'll do more work around that. I do have some custom work going on, and I'm going to try and do the bulk of the welding for that on stream. The figuring out and how the job goes, I'm not going to do on stream because I don't even know what I'm doing yet. But when we're doing the final product, absolutely. And that's it. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. I'm going to be back tomorrow for another welding stream. And until then, take it easy.